Hello, welcome to the second coming of unbelief. New background, new job. Last video was the end of the book of Judges, so we're going to pick up in 1 Samuel. Joshua's dead. There had been peace, and then the judges, but there had been peace. Okay? And there were shrines. There was no central temple. There were shrines. One at Bethel, one at Shiloh. The one in today's story was Shiloh. Archaeologists tell us that it was just a shrine with some form of divine image. Now, according to the story today, the shrine, the divine image at the shrine in Shiloh was the Ark of the Covenant. Remember, with the two cherubim, and God sits in the middle. Okay. Eli was getting old. His two sons weren't terribly into being priests. They were much like Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland, Creflo Dollar. They took more than their fair share, and they weren't terribly spiritual about it. Samuel came along. We'll talk about the calling of Samuel at a different time. Samuel was more in tune with God than Hophni and Phineas. And again, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so in our story for today, the Philistines come along, and the battle wasn't going well. So Hophni and Phineas got the bright idea to get the ark and bring it to camp, because the ark is that's divine image. Okay, well, that was a flop because the ark got captured by the Philistines. The Philistines put it in the temple of Dagon, as that was their god. The first night, the statue of Dagon fell over on its face. They set the statue back up. Second night, and in the morning of the third day, they came back, and Dagon had fallen on his face, and his head and feet were broken off. So the Philistines sent the ark back on an ox cart with no driver. That's another crazy story. The worship of Adonai was not centralized in Jerusalem until the reign of Josiah. There was no Moses. That story didn't happen. There was no Joshua. That story didn't happen. And I really don't think that Samuel existed either. Dan McClellan says that the story of the capture of the ark and the subsequent demolition of the divine image of Dagon is an etiology showing that Adonai is superior to all other gods, and that all other gods bow before Adonai. I thought the other gods didn't exist. And yet they do. So there are other gods. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. So that means that there are other gods, and we're supposed to make Adonai the superior, number one. Zeus, if you please, Apollo. Okay. The other gods can't have a higher position on the totem pole than Adonai. Now, somewhere I heard that monotheism, as we think of it today, was not really a working concept in the Bible. Or the Bible times, everybody knew there were other gods, but Israel's God was Adonai. And so that's one reason when later we'll see Naaman was healed of his leprosy. He took 15 bags of soil back with him so he'd have some of Adonai's soil in order to worship him. Then later, during the Babylonian captivity, some of the Israelites weren't terribly sure who and how to worship because they weren't in Adonai's territory physically. As we work our way through the Old Testament, we're going to come to understand that none of these stories actually happened. Maybe there was a battle between Josiah, Sennacherib, and maybe those are correct names, real people. Otherwise, the Old Testament never happened. It's an ideology of why we do things. It's pure fiction. Thanks for watching. Second Coming of Unbelief. I'll catch you on the next video.